Gandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Nandito na po tayo sa part 2 ng Introduction to Mother Tongue-Based Multilingual Education. Actually, pasensya na ngayon ko lang ito nagawa kasi medyo mahaba siya. Kailangan ko pong basahin. Yan. So, let's proceed, no? Without further ado. Uh, Hindi ko na i-review kung ano yung ano, no? Panoorin nyo na lang yung unang video. Pero sa pagkakaalala ko, dito tayo natigil sa MTB, MLE matters. Ah, Kasi ito yung ano, di ba? Yung huli natin diniscuss yung 19 recognized mother tongues. Ngayon, na-discuss na rin to, no? Yung YMTB, MLE matters. So, basahin ko lang na sandali. Una, it promotes inclusive, equitable, and quality education. Respects and revitalize indigenous and regional languages and helps meet international goals like the UN SDG 4 or quality education, kung sustainable development goals yan ng UN, and UNESCO language policies. So, ito na po. Dito na tayo magsisimula sa MTB-MLE framework ng DepEd. So, onting review lang, no? Mother tongue-based multi-language education. So, L1 is the first language or mother tongue as the foundation. So yan yung unang framework, no? At the beginning of education, especially sa K to 3 o K to kindergarten to grade 3, the mother tongue is used as the primary language of instruction. So, ano daw ang gagamitin? Yung mother tongue. So, nasabi ko na sa previous video kung ano yung mother tongue. Yan. So, mas madali daw kasing matututo yung mga bata, no, kapag ginamit yung mother tongue na ginagamit nila sa bahay. No? Yun kasi yung yun kasi, ibig sabihin, doon na well-versed yung bata. Doon siya una naging well-versed. So, lahat daw ng basic concepts, including reading, writing, math, science, values, are first introduced in L1. Natatandaan niya na, saan daw ano? L1. So, habang nag-aaral na, no, ng mga bata, dahan-dahan namang ini-introduce ang L2, which is in our case, the Filipino language, and L3, the English language. So, habang gumagaling na silang gumamit ng L1, no, uh, da, uh, dahan-dahan ang ini-introduce ang Filipino at English, pero not all at once. Yan. So, ano muna? Si L1 muna, tapos si L2, tapos si L3. Yan. So, they begin with oral language. So, makikinig lang sila, tapos magsasalita. Then, move to reading and writing in L2 and L3. So, tatandaan niya, hindi all at once. Hindi yung L1, L2, L3 tuturo agad. No? Dahan-dahan muna. So, contextualized content, lessons, and examples are based on the learner's own culture, environment, and daily experiences. Yeah. So, this ensures that the language and topics used are meaningful and familiar to the learner. For example, teaching the concept of height using familiar things like saging or kabayo instead of foreign context, no? Huwag na tayo, baka iba gumagamit ng he is as tall as an oak tree. Diyos ko, walang oak tree dito sa Pilipinas, no? So we must use indigenous products or indigenous things, no, na available dito sa lugar natin to describe something, no? Uh, hindi tayo pwedeng magsabi na as white as a snow. Kasi wala namang snow sa Pilipinas. Alam natin ang snow puti, pero gaano kaputi, no? Kailangan magkaroon tayo ng ano, ng ibang uh, uh, description na mas maiintindihan ng mga bata kasi nakikita nila. So layering approach, think of this as a building blocks or layers yan. So Yan, makikita nyo, no? Paano gagawin, no? Yung layering. So, unang-una, ah, marunong na siya, no? Reading, writing, speaking, and understanding. Hindi lang basta, ano, no? Reading, tsaka, no? Kasi, kapag ipinilit daw natin yan, no? Magbasa yung mga bata ng English, they can read it, but will they understand it? That's, kapag walang ano, kasi ang bata, ano parang tayo hindi natin alam, no? Tayo mga matatanda na, no? Madali na tayo mag-translate ng mga bagay, di ba? Kasi pinoproseso na ng isip natin, mabilis nang tinatranslate ng utak natin yung binabasa natin. Pero mga bata hindi pa ganoon. So that's why kailangan meron siyang strong skills in the mother tongue. Tapos, Filipino is added slowly. Oral muna, salita-salita, tapos sulat, basa, intindi. Tapos, pagkatapos nung dahan-dahan ng mamasa ng Filipino, yung English naman ang isasama. Yan. With support and connection to L1 and L2. So para hindi magkaroon ng confusion and overload, o lalo na sa mga bata. So, mahirap kasing pagsabay-sabayin yan na malilito yung mga bata. Yan. So, what are the principles of MTB-MLE? So, comprehension before production. Understanding first, speaking or writing later. Yan. Understand muna. Learners are given time to fully understand a new language before being expected to speak or write in it. Yan. So this mirrors natural language development. Children first listen to their mother tongue before they begin to talk. So, intindihin muna. So, kunyari, yung Ilocano na bata, no? Kailangan alam niya na yung Maysa. So, dahil po Hello, ayun. So, pasensya na, kailangan kong mag-post. May kailangan na akong gawin. So, let us continue. So, basahin ko lang ulit, no? Baka malito kayo, baka ano kayo na uulitin ko, no? Comprehension before production. So, understand first, speaking or writing later. So, learners are given time to fully understand a new language before being expected to speak or write in it. So this mirrors natural language development. So children first listen to their mother tongue before they begin to talk. So ganun, ano lang naman, paulit-ulit ko naman ang sinabi to kanina. So in practice, teachers focus first on listening and reading activities before asking learners to speak or write. So listening and reading activities. So bakit importante yon? It reduces pressure and anxiety and ensures learners are confident and ready when they start producing language. Actually, hanggang ngayon, problema natin to eh. No? Lalo na sa mga English subjects. No? Bakit ang mga bata, takot na takot silang mag-recite ng, in English. No? Kahit kayo, mga college students, di ba? Minsan nagtatanong kayo, sir, pwede ba Taglish yung sagot na? Taglish yung sagot namin. Bakit hindi? Bakit hindi straight English? 'Di ba? Ah, ibig sabihin ba noon, hindi nyo kaya na mag-English? Alam ko kaya nyo. Pero merong anxiety kasi. May takot na baka mamaya ah ma, baka mamaya parang isipin nyo na baka mali kayo, no? Mali kayo ng ano, baka magkamali kayo. Kasi usually, naging practice natin, kapag may nagre-recite, lalo na pag English, pag mali yung grammar, mali yung pronunciation, pinagtatawanan. Kaya ang mga bata, nagkakaroon ng anxiety. No? Lalo na sa elementary, no? Kaya kayong mga pre-service teachers, kailangan, ano nga yan, kailangan mawala yung kultura na yan na pinagtatawanan ng bata habang nagre-recite siya at nagkamali siya. Hindi lang sa English subjects, no? Hindi lang sa mga language subjects, kundi sa iba pang mga subjects as well. So number two, build cognitive skills. So MTB-MLE is not just about learning languages. It also supports the development of thinking skills such as analysis, problem solving, critical thinking, and creativity. So, uh, So by using the mother tongue, learners can process complex ideas so more effectively and learn academic concepts with greater understanding. So mas madali na maintindihan, no? Ah, kapag naintindihan ng mga bata ang mga lesson sa language nila, mas magkakaroon sila ng critical thinking and retain knowledge. Kaysa yung halimbawa bigla-bigla na lang silang mag-iisip ng mga concepts in L1, in L2 at saka in L3. Kaya yan, mahalaga yan, no? Yan. Yun yung sinasabi ni Vygotsky, di ba? Yun yung teorya ni Vygotsky, kung natatandaan nyo, no, na mas yung language gagamitin niya yun talaga para sa kanyang pag-iisip. So, use local culture. So, learning is rooted in the learner's environment, values, traditions, and daily life. So, materials and examples are localized and familiar to the learner. This strengthens their identity, confidence, and connection to their community. So, makikita nila yung own culture, no? Na nando sa school, no? Um, pag nakikita nila yung kultura nila, um, mas magiging meaningful at respectful of diversity. Nakuha nyo? So, ganun na kasimple, no? Kaya kailangan ng kultura sa ano, sa pag ah, kailangan gumamit ng MTB, MLE para mas malalim ang connection sa kultura ng mga mag-aaral. So, ano ba yung cognitive benefits ng MTB-MLE? So, number one, it improve memory. Learning in the mother tongue allows students to understand and store information more efficiently. Yan. So, since the language is already familiar, students can focus on content, not decoding unfamiliar words. Totoo to. So, connections between new and existing knowledge become stronger. So, totoo yan, ano? Katulad nga nung sinabi ko sa inyo dati, uh, nung nag-aaral ako ng Spanish, no, madali ako natuto nung yung professor ko sa Spanish ay nagtatagalog. Kasi mas madali ang connection ng L2 at saka ng L3. Actually, sa part ko nga, L4 na yun kasi Spanish na yun. So, mas madali kaming natuto noon kasi yung translation ba from Filipino to Spanish, mas smooth. Yung mga bata lalo, di ba? So, uh, mas madali nila maintindihan yon. Kaya nga, mamaya, baka nga may time na ipagawan ko kayo ng lesson plan according to your own language. Pero sa mga susunod na panahon na yun. So, number two, stronger critical thinking. So, when students fully understand lessons, they are better to ask questions, make inferences, evaluate, and compare ideas. So, mas magkakaroon ng active engagement and analysis, not only memorization. So, mas madali, yan, no? Critical thinking. Mas sabi nga nila, kapag nagpo-proseso ka raw ng thinking mo sa other language, talagang kailangan mo pang i-translate, no? Uh, kailangan mo pa talaga i-translate. Kailangan, ay ano ba ito? Yan. Iaano mo pa, lalo na kung hindi ka pa sanay. Di ba? Pero kung ang ginagamit mong language, yung language na alam mo na, madali na yon, no? Pwede, yun nga, sabi dito, pwede ka magtanong, inferences, tsaka evaluate and compare ideas. So, better learning retention. So, mas madali daw ang recall kapag L1 ang ginagamit sa pagtuturo. So, more deeply embedded in long-term memory. So, mas ngayon, ang halimbawa dito, no, yung concept ng photosynthesis, mas madali na nila itong maintindihan in English language kasi na ituro na ito nung una sa kanilang wika. So hindi ko alam kung naikwento ko na sa inyo sa video o before na may isang Korean daw na pumunta sa sa US. Ngayon ang lesson biology parang pinapalocate yung mga parts ng digestive system. So yung bata daw sumagot in Korean. So the child is struggling to speak in English, but he answered the parts of the digestive system in Korean. So what the teacher did is to ask someone to translate those uh, Hangul, no? Yung letter ng mga Koreano. And as it turned out, tama lahat ng sagot niya. Pero it was only written in Hangul. Yan. So, onting practice lang pag ganun. Tapos, pwede na mag-develop yung language ng bata. Kaya nga, ito yung laging sinasabi that English is not uh, a parameter of intelligence. This is only a way of communication. No? When we went to Korea last time, no? In 2020, so yung magtatanong lang kami, ano sila talaga, no? No English, no English. Pero mayaman yung bansa nila. Lalo na sa Japan, di ba? Mas mayaman yung bansa nila. Pero hirap na hirap sila magsalita ng English. Pero yung kanilang L1, sobrang developed. Sobrang kayang-kaya nila. Ang problema nga sa atin daw dito sa Pilipinas, no? We are the jack of all trades when it comes to language, pero master of none. Kasi we struggle to speak in Filipino. We also struggle to speak in English. Yan. Tapos may nagsasabi pa yung mga purist na Filipino. Pag Filipino, Filipino lang daw dapat nasasalitain. Paano mangyayari na dapat pure Filipino ang sasalitain? Eh yung wika natin na Filipino, hindi na talaga puro yan from the start. Kasi kung tatanggalin mo ang lahat ng mga loan words natin, walang matitira sa atin. Kasi kahit yung mga pinakamalalalim na wika natin sa salitang, yun, sa salita natin sa Filipino, eh galing sa bahasa Melayu. So, literacy development in L1. So, when children learn to read and write in their first language early on, they develop stronger literacy skills. So, if a child speaks Ilocano at home and starts schools learning to read and write in Ilocano, they can focus on learning how to read, not just struggling with a new language. Once they become literate in Ilocano, it's easier for them to learn English or Filipino later. Pero ayun na, nasabi ko rin na rin sa inyo to, no? May problema tayo, parang reverse na literary development. Because many parents nowadays are teaching their child or their children to speak in English first before their mother tongue. Kaya nga ngayon, ang problema namin dito, lalo na sa early childhood education, is how to teach the students, the pupils to speak in our national language, in Filipino. Baliktad na. Sa ano po yung Tagalog nito? So, ganun ang problema. Pause ko lang. Ayan, so oral language and academic discourse. When students use their mother tongue to speak and discuss, they can think clearly, express ideas confidently, and actively participate in learning. So, in a classroom where the learners speak Kapampangan at home, allowing them to talk about science and experiment in Kapampangan helps them focus on understanding the concept, not struggling with unfamiliar words. So, katulad din yung kanina sa Ilocano. So, ito yon madaling parang pinaka-summary. So, why MTB, MLE is better? So, sa MTB, language used first in MTB, MLE, L1. Sa traditional na bilingual, ay L2, English or Filipino agad. Comprehension, mataas kasi the child understands L1 well. Mahina sa traditional bilingual kasi some words in L2 or L3 may be unfamiliar. So confidence and participation, strong foundation and active learning. Dito naman sa traditional bilingual, fear or silence due to confusion. Academic growth supported step by step, often delayed or frustrated. So Filipino and English as L2 and L3. So these languages are not taught immediately in the written form. Instead, they are uh, first introduced orally through songs, stories, conversations, and classroom talk, later introduced in written form. So nasabi ko na to sa previous video, kung hindi ako nagkakamali. So bridging activities help connect the learner's strong skills in the mother tongue with the new language. So halimbawa, translating familiar text from L1, L2, or L3. So comparing vocabulary or sentence structures. So using visual aids, real objects, or experiences in both language. So yun ang um, so ayun, yun yung dapat nyo na malaman ano. Nasabi ko na rin naman to. So alam ko naiintindihan nyo na tong part na to. So a child who speaks Cebuano learns the word aso, dog in L1. So the teacher then introduced aso in Filipino and dog in English through stories and pictures, showing they all mean the same thing. So later, the child reads and writes those words in each language. So sa Cebuano, ang aso ay iro. Yan. So usually sa kanta-kanta, ipapaliwanag na i-introduce na si aso at saka si dog. Yan. Tapos may pictures. Yan. So, minsan, pag picture, pinapakita ng picture ng aso, no? Nakasulat din ah, yung words na iro, aso, tapos dog. Para ipakita na these words are the same, no? The image, no? From the image of a dog. No? These words are the same no? Pertaining to the picture of a dog. Pero, they are from different language. So, later, yung mga bata, maisusulat niya na yung aso at saka yung dog sa language na L2 at saka L3. Ayan. So, to help learners shift smoothly from their first language to Filipino and English, teachers must use specific strategies that support understanding and confidence. Yan. So, specific strategies. Ano kaya yung mga strategies na to? So, number one, vocabulary mapping. So, matching words from L1, L2, and L3. So, example, iro, aso, dog. So, vocabulary mapping yun. Builds language connection and helps learners remember meanings. Often done with charts, pictures, and or word webs. So, kapag magtuturo kayo ng ng mother tongue, ganito, ganyan ang gagawin nyo. Kunyari, may picture, yung tinatawag na word webs, no? Kunyari, may picture ng aso sa gitna, tapos, may iba-ibang, web dito. Nasa taas yung iro, dito sa baba, yung aso, nandito yung dog. Pwedeng ganon. Pwedeng charts din. Paano kung hindi lang iro, no? Paano kung iring din, diba? Kabaw. Yan. So those are Visayan words, no? Iring means pusa, cat. Kabaw means buffalo, water buffalo, or karabaw, kalabaw. So, pangalawa, pwede tayo mag-code switching. So, ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng code switching? So, pag sinabing code switching, ganito, no? Class, na-understand nyo na ba yung lesson natin for today? That's code switching. You speak in a certain language, usually the L1 or L2, then you speak in L3. So, kunyari, yun na, di ba? Class, na-understand nyo ba yung lesson natin for today? So, nakita nyo, nagsasalita ako ng Tagalog, pero nagsasalita ako ng English at the same time. That's code switching. So, temporarily mixing L1, L2, L3 in conversation. So, helps learner understand difficult ideas by using familiar language as support. Yan. So, yan, ito yung maganda ring example dito, yung the dog ay tumakbo sa kalsada. Pero masyadong konyo ang datingan niya, no? The dog ay tumakbo. Pwedeng ang dog ay tumakbo sa kalsada. So, mas madali, no? Kasi yung mga words sa Tagalog do, it serves as a contextual clues to those English words. So, alam niyo naman yung ibig sabihin ng contextual clues, no? Sa isang sentence, no? Lalo na kapag ang mga words ay inclitic, no? Kailangan ng mga supporting words or sentence para maintindihan mo yung word na yon. Scaffolding. So, scaffolding yung sa building, di ba? Naglalagay tayo ng scaffolding. Yun sa building. Yung suporta. Para hindi, kunyari, nagtayo ng poste, lalagyan muna yun ng parang suporta para hindi bumagsak. Kasi malambot pa yung semento eh. Pag matigas na yung semento, tatanggalin mo na yung suporta, yung scaffolding. So, ganun din ang gagawin natin dito sa pagbibigay, no, transition ng L1 to L2 to L3. So, giving step-by-step support when introducing new languages. So, this includes visual aids. Number one yan. Gestures, sentence frames, or modeling. Maganda rin yung gestures, no? Nung pumunta kami nung 250th anniversary ng Goethe Institute sa may Aurora Boulevard, ano yon, German Language Center. Ang galing ng teacher doon kasi ang ginawa niya, nag-drawing siya ng araw, tapos nag-stretch siya ng kamay, tapos gano'n. Guten Morgen, gumanon siya. Guten Morgen means good morning in German. Tapos nag-drawing naman siya ng buwan, tapos inaantok siya ulit. Guten Nacht, ganon. So, good night. Yun yan. So, by doing those gestures, mas madaling maintindihan ng mga bata. Kaya nga, actions, no? Yung mga action, yung gestures is also part of communication. Lalo na kung walang, lalo na no, German, wala kaming kaalam-alam doon. Pero naintindihan namin. Naintindihan namin agad na yung Guten Morgen, ang ibig sabihin ay good morning because of the teacher's gesture. Siyempre, sentence frames or modeling. So, gradually remove support as learners become more independent. Yan. So, dahan-dahan mo nang tatanggalin yung visual aids since alam niya na yung ibig sabihin ng aso, naka-ingrain na sa utak niya yung ibig sabihin ng yung aso at saka yung dog, no? Na ang ibig sabihin pala nung sa wika nila, iro, di ba? So, hindi mo na kailangan ng picture. So, pag sinabi mo na next time na dog, this is a dog, ito ay isang aso. Alam niya na iro yon. So, sa curriculum design naman ng MTB-MLT, no? So, contextualized and integrated with daily uh, learners' daily lives. So, when we say contextualization, the curriculum uses local culture, environment, daily routines, community practices, and real-life experiences as a learning context. So lessons are grounded in the learner's home language, traditions, and familiar settings to make education meaningful and relatable. So, kaya nga mahirap magturo ng ng kanta na I am dreaming of a white Christmas. Hindi sila makarelate doon because we don't have snow, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina. Pero pag sinabi nating misa, di gallo sa simbahan, mas makaka-relate sila. Kasi doon sa kanta, at nagtilaok na ang tandang. So, napaka-indigenous, di ba? Na tumilaok ang tandang. So, alam natin kapag tumilaok na ang tandang, so, misa di gallo na. Gallo means rooster in Spanish. Integration, subjects are taught in a way that connects different learning areas, for example, science, math, language, around central themes drawn from learners' everyday lives like farming, family, festivals, or local events, so that the learning process becomes more holistic and not fragmented. Yan. So, ganun yon. Kaya nga usually, pag mga elementary, no, kahit sa ibang subject, no, laging ang setting, family, community. So, they can relate. Kasi students, especially young ones, uh, they're not fully explored yet, no? The outside world. Kaya nga kailangan yung immediate na nakikita nila sa community nila, sa bahay nila, para mas madali nila maintindihan. So MTB-MLE is also learner-centered. So that's designed it encourages participation and critical thinking by starting with what children know and expanding to know new concepts using familiar language and experiences. So may tinatawag ito sa philosophy yung a priori. Tinatawag a priori. So repeat after me, a priori. So ibig sabihin noon yung parang meron na siyang prior knowledge kasi nga alam niya na yung language. So cultural relevance, indigenous knowledge, values, and worldviews are included to preserve and celebrate cultural identity while developing academic competencies. So yun ang hindi yun ang isa sa mga magagandang one of the critical highlights talaga of MTB MLE curriculum design. It is cultural relevant. Kasi nga in a world where many cultures and language are losing every single day, so we need to revitalize the culture of many provinces here in the Philippines. Kasi nga, unlike in other countries, no, na they are pushing for a single language talaga. They try to erase other languages or dialects. In the Philippines, we must promote other languages as part of our community, part of our culture, part of our identity, national identity actually. So, yung sa sample lesson plan na magpapagawa ako nito sa mga susunod sa inyo, no? So, math in Ilocano using native fruits for teaching addition. So, magpapagawa ako niyan next time. Let's skip that for now. So, teachers are the key implementers of MPB and LE. No? That's why the teachers need language proficiency and retraining, no? Not only training, retraining. So, for example, they need to have MPB MLE workshops in each regions. So, as we know naman, each regions, no, kaya magkakadikit yung regions natin, halos pare-pareha sa mga language niya. Bawa kung mga Region 1, Region 2, usually mga salita dyan, mga Ilocano, mga Bugaw, ganyan. So, kailangan per region talaga. Sa atin, sa mga NCR, at saka sa mga Calabarzon, Mimaropa, at saka sa ibang parts ng Region 3 katulad ng Bulacan, we are using Tagalog as L1. No? So, ang L2 na natin agad, English. But in other provinces, they are using their mother tongue, L1, L2 sa atin. Tsaka lang nila pag-aaralan yung Filipino. So teachers are the frontline implementers of MTB and LE. Their effectiveness directly influences the success of instruction in the learner's first language. So language proficiency, teacher must be fluent in the mother tongue of their learners to deliver lessons accurately and confidently. Yun yun. Inuulit ko dito sa bandang sa San Mateo, sa Montalban, walang problema sa atin kasi Filipino na yung ginagamit natin. However, in linguistically diverse classrooms, some teachers may not speak the same L1 as their students, creating a gap. Yun. So dito, katulad dito, ngayon sa school namin, meron kaming estudyanteng Korean. So medyo hirap. That's why the teachers adjusted to the student. Ako, I had my student before. No? Pure Indian siya, from India. So while I am discussing the lesson with the students in Filipino language, later on, I will translate the lesson to her in English. Yun lang ang pinakamagagawa ko. Pero how about, yun nga, katulad ng Koreano, he's not fluent in English. He only speaks Korean. Yun. Yun ang problema doon. So need for retraining, many teachers were trained primarily in English and Filipino. So MTB-MLE requires a shift in both instructional language and pedagogical strategies. So balikan natin ng ibig sabihin ng pedagogy. No? This is the art of teaching. Yan. So which calls for comprehensive retraining. So, dito sa sample teacher's guide page, gagawa tayo ulit dito ng mga, siguro gagawin natin itong project. Gagawa tayo ng teacher's lesson plan, teacher's guide, at saka yung isa pa ito, yung learning materials na in other language. So, igugrupo ko kayo according sa may isang tao doon na may language na alam, no? Na bukod sa Filipino and English. So, localized materials and orthography. So, orthography development, communities with the help of linguists and educators develop a standardized writing system or orthography, writing or spelling for their mother tongue. So, defining how sounds are represented by letters and what rules govern spelling, punctuation, and grammar. For example, uh, sa mga nagsasalita ng Tagalog, kung ano yung mga letters, A, E, I, O, U, usually yun na yung ginagamit natin. Pero paano kung halimbawa sa ibang lugar, sa Ilocano, halimbawa may tinatawag na Panagbenga Festival. Pero sa Ilocos pala, hindi panagbenga ang basa doon, panagbanga. So how are you going to spell panagbanga? So, ibig sabihin yung banga doon, yung i doon, hindi siya binabasa as i katulad natin na panagbe, be. Yun. Binabasa siya as b. Yan, panagbanga. Yung panagbanga. Yan. Parang hati siya ng a at saka ng e. No? Parang in between. Panagbanga. Ganon. So how are you going to write that? So how are you going also to write to pronounce two independent words lang walang sentence, no? Halimbawa sa Tagalog, may salita tayong bitaw. So ibig sabihin ng bitaw, no, to let go, to let loose, no? Pero sa Bisaya, meron ding word na bitaw, no? Parang sumasang-ayon yun. Tama ba? Sumasang-ayon. No? So you approve, yan, yung agree, you agree. So, kapag pinagtabi yung dalawang words na yun, bitaw, to let go, to let loose, saka yung bitaw, tapos walang sentence construction. So, paano mo sila babasahin? According to, to the stress, no? Yung may mga stress yan. Yan. Kaya ngayon sa Filipino language, hindi natin masyado pang namamaster yung mga stress, yung mga ganon, yung mga tawag doon, mga parang, yung mga ganon, tuldik, yung mga diacritics, yung mga tinatawag na diacritical marks yun, natandaan ko na. Yung tawag doon ay diacritics or diacritical marks. Yung mga maragsa, marahan, chenis, ganyan. So, yan ang dapat na ma-develop sa atin. Sa Vietnam, ang galing. Kasi they are also using the Greco-Roman alphabet characters, no? But they are inserting many diacritical marks. Pag nakakita kayo ng Vietnamese words, no? Talagang hindi mo siya paano mo siya babasahin? Pero ang daming diacritical marks doon. Para hindi malito yung mga mismong Vietnamese. So, community involvement then, language experts, teachers, and local elders collaborate to ensure that the spelling, vocabulary, and usage reflect authentic and widely accepted form of the local language. This ensure cultural integrity and comprehension. So, dapat, widely accepted forms of the local language, of the local language. Yun yung sinasabi doon. Kasi sometimes we tend to we tend to use vocabularies from other languages in other languages or dialects in the Philippines. Tapos we corrupt the meaning of it. So ngayon matatawa kayo no pag sinasabi niyo pag narinig yung salitang bembang, iba na yung kahulugan niya sa Filipino context. Pero dati pag sinasabihan ako ng tatay ko niya, natatakot na ako. No? Pag sinabi sa akin dati na bebembangin kita, natatakot na ako. Kasi it is actually a negative connotation in Visaya language. No? Pero ngayon, naiba na yung kahulugan niya. Well, well, katulad din sa international language, no? Katulad ng OPA, di ba? OPA originally is kuya, pero ang nag-a-address babae. Kunyari, batang babae, na-address niya yung lalaki na mas matanda sa kanya, o kuya niya, no? OPA, tawag na doon. Pero ngayon, yung OPA, no? Ginagamit na yun para sa mga Koreanong pogi. Yan. So we corrupt language, we corrupt words sometimes based on what we intend to use that word. So, community involvement, ito na yun. So, support from KWF and DepEd. So, Komisyon sa Wikang Filipino leads and supports orthography formulation, workshops across regions. So, kailangan kasi natin. Kasi we have more than 107 languages and dialects. So, we need to stress the support from the Commission, ayan, Komisyon sa Wikang Filipino and the Department of Education. The KWF will lead the way to support the orthography formulation. The DepEd will print learning materials, primers, storybooks, big books, and lesson plans. So, what are the role of school leaders in the implementation of MTBML? So, number one, strategic planning. So school heads lead the integration of NTB-MLE into a school's curriculum and development plans. So this includes identifying the dominant mother tongue in the community, mapping teacher competencies, and allocating time and resources. Uh, that's the ideal thing, no? That's the strategic planning. So paano nga naman doon sa lugar yun? Kunyari Metro Manila yon, pero ang daming Bisaya sa lugar na yon. So uh, what what language, what L1 are you going to teach? If in that particular place, kahit na nasa Metro Manila siya, maraming Bisaya sa lugar na yun. So you have to develop, you have uh, to conform with the community, no? Tapos mapping teacher competencies. Siyempre, hindi naman lahat doon marunong mag-Bisaya. So, paano gagawin mo? So support and capacity building. So they ensure that teachers receive the necessary training, materials, and mentoring. So this includes facilitating MTB-MLE in-service training, INSETs, tawag yan INSET, no? Coordinating with DepEd and language experts, and promoting the use of mother tongue in all grade 1 to 3 classrooms. Trainings, materials, and mentoring. Tandaan niya. So monitoring and evaluation. So simply observe class, assess material usage, and review learning outcomes. Ayun. So, yun yun ulit, no? Monitoring and evaluation, observe class, assess material usage, and review learning outcomes to ensure MTB-MLE is being implemented effectively. Community engagement, they act as liaisons between the school and local communities. So, encouraging parental involvement, no? Bawa si parent magaling magsalita ng ganito, pwede siyang i-invite as a speaker. Community contribution to localized materials and mother tongue validation. So advocacy, school heads promote the value of MTB to teachers, parents, and stakeholders, addressing doubts and reinforcing the link between mother tongue literacy and long-term academic success. Tandaan yan, ha? So, yan. May mga school heads, siyempre, mga principal. Sa public, may mga district supervisor. So, cultural resource providers, community serves as rich sources of local knowledge, oral tradition. So, yung mga oral traditions, ito yung mga binabanggit lang, no? And cultural practices. So, kunyari sa Montalban, meron diyang oral na history na naisulat na siyempre yung kasaysayan daw ni Bernardo Carpio. Something like that. So, yun yung tinatawag na oral tradition na ipasa siya sa atin sa pamamagitan ng pagkukwento. Cultural practices, which are essential in developing contextualized and culturally relevant learning materials. So, importante yun. So, ulitin ko lang yung sinabi ko dati, no? It takes a village to educate to raise a child. Tatandaan niyo palagi yan. It takes a village to raise a child. So, kailangan ng community help. Uh, because the school, the teachers, the principal cannot do this alone. Kaso may mga ibang parents, no? Pag sinabihan ng gano'n na kailangan ng tulong, eh di pasweldohin nyo rin kami, di ba? Lalo na yung pandemic, di ba? Imbis na ma-appreciate nila yung trabaho ng mga teachers dahil mahirap. Sabi, dapat sweldohan nyo rin kami. Iba talaga mag-isip ang mga Pilipino, no? So, what are the roles naman of the community? So, number one, so these are the community are the contributors to localized content. Yan. Localized content. So, ibig sabihin, sinabing localized, dun sa lugar nila. Pwede silang gumawa ng mga, ayun nga, ito, share folktales, riddles, songs, proverbs, and customs that reflect the learner's daily lives and heritage. These contributions form the core of MTB MLE storybooks, big books, and classroom discussions. So for example, yung Maranao storybooks, so community members in Lanao del Sur collaborated with DepEd and local illustrators to create storybooks in Maranao. So integrating native themes, traditional values, and local settings. So meron ba yan sa Maynila? Wala, pero sa kanila meron. Kasi localized nga. Kasi unang-una, yung mga nandito sa Maynila, hindi naman sila makaka-relate. Although parehas tayong Pilipino, meron tayong mga cultures na iba. These materials help learners develop literacy in their mother tongue while fostering pride in their cultural identity. Di ba maganda yun? So dito sa Maynila, usually, siguro kada probinsya, no? Bawa sa Laguna, pwedeng i-promote yung alamat ni Maria Makiling. Yan, ganyan. So, basta yung to promote the local identity and local identity and their cultural identity. So, community validation represents help review and validate spelling, vocabulary, and usage to ensure accuracy and cultural sensitivity. Yan. Pati pronunciation, ano? When I went to Vietnam last May, no, ang una kong basa doon sa AO, yung national dress ng mga babae doon. AO, tapos DAI, no? Auday. Auday. Yun ang spelling eh. AO, DAI. Pero when I went there, no, someone corrected me. It's not Auday, no? It's Auyay. So, ang pronunciation pala nila sa DIY. So, Auyay pala ang basa doon. So, I learned from it. So, kaya kailangan talaga, lalo na kapag nagtuturo tayo ng, no, yung mga subjects na kailangan ng pronunciation, kailangan talaga, hanggat maaari, aralin natin yung mga pronunciation ng mga salita na yan. Kasi mahirap. Pero syempre, hindi naman tayo perfect, no? Hindi tayo perfect, hindi natin maaaral yung lahat. Sustainability. Involving communities encourages ownership of the educational processes and sustainability of language preservation, especially for indigenous and endangered language. Yun. Maraming mga critically endangered language na. Alam ko, may nabalitaan ko na nakaraan, may isa na lang nagsasalita. Siya na lang yung isang native speaker. Wala na, although may kasunod, pero hindi na native speakers. Ngayon, kung mabubuhay ulit, walang problema. Actually, yung Jew, yung Hudyo na language, binuhay lang ulit yan. Patay na kasi na language yan eh. Nabuhay lang siya ulit. So, magtigil muna tayo dito sa role of the community ha, kasi alam ko mawiwindang na naman kayo dahil ang haba na nung una natin, 1 oras. Itong part 2, 49 minutes. So, siguro ito muna yung dapat yung panoorin. So, tomorrow, Saturday, we will have, sige, i-announce ko na lang sa GC natin. So, thank you so much for listening this video lesson. I hope you watch this as soon as I posted this in YouTube. Thank you so much. God bless.